We'll have John Coward out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, fighting out of the red corner, and Mark DeGiovanni out of Kearney, New Jersey, your fighter in the blue corner. This should be a pretty entertaining fight, and it's our pleasure to welcome to the microphone a face very familiar to amateur boxing here in Florida, Sergeant Pat Burns of the Miami Police boxing team. He's presently president of the Florida Gold Coast Boxing Association. Patrick, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You've seen a lot of young fighters in your time, and we're seeing another good crop of them here in this national championship.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with what I've seen so far. Particularly this match right here, both these guys are real fine fighters. I know a little bit more about John Coward, and we think John is a prospect for 92.
Coward comes off the ropes with a nice-looking shot right.
DeGiovanni with pretty good power of his own, as you see. A very strong upper body, good-looking legs. He stopped Glenn Major out of Fort Pierce last night in the first round of that bout.
He is very strong. I think Coward's going to need to box a little bit more, not try to slug with this kid.
We were talking about John Coward earlier, Pat, and you were talking about his relative inexperience. He's been boxing about 4 years, very green coming in, but showing constant signs of improvement.
He started off a little slow, but he stuck with it, and he probably lost 4 or 5 of his first 10 bouts, and he just stuck with it, and he came back and he beat those same guys he lost to here in Florida, and he just continually improving. Right now, I think he needs to box a little bit more and get his jab going. I'd like to say a quick word about his coach, Pete Balkunas. He's a police officer, and obviously we know this is a national PAL, and there's a lot of police officers here. And Pete has a club of about 15 boys. He does this on his own time after work, and his whole team is just really coming along. He also had a national champion in 1987. He's a former Marine. He's now with the reserves, Vietnam veteran, and we're just real proud of Pete Balkunas down here in Miami.
Mark DeGiovanni, at 20 years of age, has been boxing for about the last 6 years. He is a former member of the U.S. team that boxed in Sweden and in Denmark, so you've got a fairly experienced fighter here in Mark DeGiovanni against a little bit less experienced than John Coward. So far, pretty even fight here, as Coward really has not gotten the jab to work the way he'd like to.
Referee's getting on DeGiovanni a little bit. He's not turning his punches over. He's more of a slap. It looks like Coward is starting to get in the groove a little bit here now. He's snapping that jab a little better and staying away from that inside game of DeGiovanni's.
John Coward, a Florida Golden Gloves champion, and as we've been talking about, a lot of different ways to impress some of the people in the crowd. The people in Colorado Springs liked him, and that's one of the big places for the young amateurs to go and train and really get some national recognition.
We're real happy with our boxers here in Florida. We weren't even on the map a few years ago. We're just now starting to emerge as some of the stronger teams in the country.
As we come to the end of round 1. Pat will continue that for a second. Amateur boxing in Florida, you've got names like Coward and some of the other ones that we've seen here. Ron Wright, who won earlier today, and indeed boxing, at least amateur-wise, seems to be on the move here in this state.
Yes, we're really excited about some of our kids coming up. Matter of fact, the USA ABF rankings just came out, and one of our kids, Santana Lewis, made the All-American team, and his brother, Melvin Lewis, is ranked in the top 10 in the country. I think you guys worked at the Ireland match. The Gray brothers, and then David Santos out of St. Petersburg. Just a lot of kids that are really coming up.
Okay. Well, certainly Florida's moving in the right direction, and certainly under the directions of guys like Pat Burns moving in there. This is the man we've been talking to. Pat, you've been coaching fighters for a lot of years, and now your new job now is president of the Florida Gold Coast Association.
Yeah, it is new to me, and but fortunately I have a great staff. Pete Balkunas, as a matter of fact, working the corner, is the vice president, and we got Juan Fuentes, another police officer, and Bobby Baker. Just a lot of police officers involved here in our state, and I really am very proud of what we've accomplished here. Nick Simonento of course, is the president of the Florida Association. He's doing a great job here. It's unfortunate that the Florida Association and Florida Go-Go's have to box, and sometimes we leave two potential national champions at home. Coward's really starting to get that jab working now.
Seems to be getting a lot better, and Giovanni's hadn't got a bad left jab of his own. Doesn't move quite as well as Coward does. Seems to be very happy to just stand and punch with John. Coward, we were talking about earlier, a possible prospect for these 1992 Olympics if he can continue to improve in the way he has in the past year.
Well, I think what John really needs to do is just make up his mind that he's going to give it his best shot to make the 92 team and really focus for the next couple of years and not get distracted, stay in the gym, hang with the right people, just really stay on top of his mental game. There's that slap we were talking about.
Yep, second warning from the referee on that. And Pat, as you were talking before, maybe the only thing John Coward needs is the experience, possibly, you know, the experience of a DeGiovanni, getting that international flavor.
That's true. This is real good competition right here for John. He had a tougher bout earlier, but really around the state he's not getting this real tough competition, and this is the type of work that he needs to improve. I'd like to see him snap that jab like that there a little bit more in box. Giovanni wants to stand there, and John just keeps sticking and moving. I think he'll pull this off. Can't get lazy. He's got to really focus on what he's doing now. Giovanni's getting a little flat-footed.
How much does the international experience help a young fighter, say 14, 15, 16 years old, Pat?
Well, the 15 and 16-year-olds don't have the opportunity to box international. They have to be 17 years old on our senior team. However, this year, thanks to a man by the name of Bob Hodge, and of course, with the blessings from the President Billy Dove, our junior Olympic champions had the opportunity to box international and went to Ireland and defeated Ireland. So international competition, you can't beat it. You get over there, the judging, the scoring, is a little bit different than what they see here in the United States. I think we're much cleaner boxers, and a lot of the boxers around the country. And I think this international competition is really what they need to prepare themselves if they make it to the Olympics.
Mark DeGiovanni scoring a little better here in round two, although Coward doing a pretty good job of staying away. Coward with the reach advantage, although it's a slight one.
And in terms of the scoring, you know, things are always different in international judging as well, as we saw in the Seoul Olympics.
And that's the end of round two.
You're correct on that. I think if you get the opportunity to talk to the president, Billy Dove, I think he can comment on that, what happened recently in Puerto Rico. We're having a difficult time, at least in my opinion, around the world. We have some boxers that definitely are winning their bouts, and it just seems like we're not getting the decisions. But it's a shame that happens, but I know there's a lot of talk about computer scoring and all this type of stuff. I'm not quite sure where that's going to go on an international.
Mark DeGiovanni being talked to with some fervor here in this corner, and apparently they're feeling that John Coward with the advantage here. Giovanni's going to have to get off his horse a little more.
Well, I think so as well, as you see Coward here just stalking DeGiovanni with the good left right. Got the jab going and landed with a stiff right.
Coward just keeps doing what he's doing, using that jab, sticking and moving and working his angles. I think he should win this.
So we go to the third and final round. Along with Barry Milligan, I'm Dave Reed. Sergeant Pat Burns joining us here for this 147-pound class national championship. John Coward in the blue and Mark DeGiovanni in the red and white, or rather red and blue.
Some good body work in there, that exchange.
Well, obviously DeGiovanni being told he's going to have to get a little busier here in this third round.
Coward does not want to slug with this young man. He wants to try to box a little bit here. Stay out of trouble.
Coward, having defeated a couple of fellow Floridians on the way to this championship fight, beat George Hellman in the first round out of North Miami Beach. Defeated James Mason from Laurinburg, North Carolina in the quarterfinals, and then defeated Orlando's Vincent Harris in the semis.
Those were some tough boxers themselves. There's some good exchanges going in inside there. Coward needs to snap that jab and stay away from throwing that lead hook.
Giovanni off balance a little bit here. Coward makes him pay for it. Mark DeGiovanni, Kearney, New Jersey native. John Coward, as we told you, just right there down the road in Fort Lauderdale.
This is a real credit to the Police Athletic League. A lot of these kids here get the chance to get off the streets and get into the gym and stay away from getting in trouble, and that's just a real credit to the police departments throughout the country that are involved in this.
Yeah, we were commenting on that earlier, what a great organization the PAL is, and you really can't measure the contribution they make to young kids at this age. It's hard to put a finger on it, but it is sizable.
That was a nice combination there by Coward. He's starting to get to him. You can see that head snap, and Coward's looking pretty sharp here. Just needs to stay away from them power punches by Giovanni.
Giovanni, as we told you before, is a state champ in his own right. In fact, this year he's the Golden Gloves champion, New Jersey style. This is his first experience in PAL competition.
He's putting up one heck of a bout here. He's a very strong young man.
Coward warned he took the elbow out of things.
In the pros, you can get away with that. In the amateurs, we try to make it as clean as we can, as you know. Nice combination.
That's the best combination of the fight right there.
Nice combination. Nice left hand, nice right hand. Coward really starting to take it to him here now.
Yep. Getting that left out there, really making things work off the jab.
Three-punch combinations, really looking good here.
Hey, he's landed about the last dozen punches.
I would not
in a row.
underestimate.
Oh, that's a big right by Kearney. Nice right by Kearney.
It sure was.
Rather by Giovanni from Kearney.
Coward cannot underestimate this young man. He's still got the power to drop you. Heck of a match here. Heck of a match here.
And this fight is over with. Well, a very entertaining fight in the 147-pound division. We'll be back with a final word in just a moment.